Welcome back everyone to your favorite movie review channel. Do I really need an introduction? Well, if so, it's Peter Mann, your lovely host of Mann Cinema Reviews. Today we're going to be reviewing the latest indie horror throwback campy She Came from the Woods. But before we do that, go ahead, press like, subscribe, hit the notification bell as well to notify you of any and all reviews to this channel. You know, the exploration of everything cinema. Thank you very much for choosing Mann Cinema Reviews. Okay, it's 1987 and we are at Camp Briarbrook on the last day of camp. All of the camp counselors gather around that night to awake a long forsaken evil. That's pretty much what it is in a nutshell. This film is starring Cara, Buono, which you know from Stranger Things, William Sadler, Clare, Foley, Spencer List, and Michael Park. This comes from a writing duo, Erik and Carson. Bloomquist. It is directed by Erik Bloomquist, and it is the first outing, and it's impressive with what they have going for themselves. I like how this project feels like a labor of love. A lot of those that star in the film are also acting as producers. It's great to have character actor, veteran William Sadler at the forefront, as well as Cara Buono, who you know from Stranger Things. And I just really think that with the star power and its 80s vintage throwback feel, it's really giving you that 80s slasher feel that people know and love. And it's cool to see that it's kind of revitalizing and breathing new life into the genre. Now, like I said, I think that 2023 capitalizes the genre of the horror film, and I knew that they can't all be heavy hitters. We have been just blessed with great horror films thus far. I'm gonna tell you what I liked about this film. I like how charming it is and how it plays on the 80s vibe. You can really feel the 80s inspiration, just influences wearing on its sleeves. And I think that the young cast and the veteran actors do a good job to placing the 80s feel. However, I really do think that this just rests on its laurels, because I just feel that it's just really not that scary. And I'm going to go into why I just didn't really care for this film. As campy as camp B-level horror films are, especially with the genre, it just feels like this budget, you can really feel it is just really low budget, very campy work, and it's really not as humorous as it could be, and as thrilling as it could be, or even as scary as it should be. She Came from the Woods really runs with its tropes, and that's where I have a problem with it. It just feels like it heavily relies on the general horror tropes. You know, don't go in there, don't go into an empty cabin, don't investigate the noise, don't split up, please stay together. All this stuff just is a trope of the film, and it's just heavily using it at its disadvantage. If people like its kind of kitsch vibe of revitalizing the horror 80s genre, that's great. More power to you. I do believe that this is a labor of love, and that's why I'm not downing the film. It's just its cappiness, it is just really bare bones. I can tell this is from a first-time writer-director. Maybe a little bit more passes at the script, get a little bit more concrete, bring more edge, bring more laughter, because what you have here is kind of a run at a first draft, and we could have a little bit more punch up to the script. I think that its influences are very heavily acknowledged, but it just borrows from a lot of horror films, and you can't help but to feel that. I'm sorry, but I was really checking the time. I was really checked out from this film about halfway through, and it's just really not that scary, and it's just really not as charming to be even entertaining. I do realize that this film has its audience, and I'm not downing those that like this film, but the cheesy 80s slasher really just never got me. I do like Friday the 13th. I was just the only person in the theater, which is a great viewing. Going to the theaters kind of feels like it's a personal viewing, but I was really bored. I really couldn't wait until the film ended, unfortunately. I do give it to those that are producing and starring. The backing of this film really does feel like a labor of love, and it just really is just middling, to say the least. Mann Cinema Reviews will give She Came From the Woods a 1-star review. Thank you very much for choosing Mann Cinema Reviews. Go ahead, leave a comment, press like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.